how's life? Well, today our question is, how can we help a friend or a family member who's in mourning because they've lost something or someone very, very valuable? For instance, they may have lost, for instance, because of a car accident, their capability to walk, or they have lost a loved one, a brother, for instance, or they have lost most of their money or something like that. Well, all of these situations require elaboration. That's called mourning. The worst part of mourning is the first year, because it's the first time you go through that process without your loved one or whatever you really wanted or needed. So it's the first spring without that person, the first Christmas without your legs, or the first summer holiday where you have no money, you can't go on holiday. It's the first time you do these things. Some of these things are very painful, and you know, the meaning of a mourning doesn't have much to do with what it is, because whatever you're mourning has a different meaning for different people. For one person, losing their legs could be absolutely catastrophic, and for another it could be sort of very bad but not the worst possible thing that could happen to them. But maybe for them, losing their brother is the worst thing that can happen to them. So this brings us to the key one of mourning processes. Every person mourns for a different reason, in a different way. If we want to help them, what can we do? We need to be proactive, because they're not going to call us to do things. They're going to need us to call them and say, I'm available on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. What do you need me for? Can I come over? That sort of thing, without insisting too much, but trying to be there for them, because you're a little bit crazy when you're in mourning. You're not very alert, you're not very well, you're not very clear-headed usually, for a whole year at least. So you need friends and family to assist you. This proactivity goes from everything from washing your clothes to doing paperwork for you, to painting the house with you, or whatever, or just changing the locks on the door, or something practical. Now, you have to be extremely careful with this, because the mourner will have invested emotions into things that you think are really wacky. For instance, his last cup of tea on the table, and they want to leave it there for ages. And whenever you move something or you decide to do something, ask that person if it's okay, because they're going to find really weird meanings in strange situations, like a dirty sweater that's going to be there for 3 years because it smells like their brother, something like that. So it's essential to be very careful and a bit treading on eggshells in this situation, which is good in this case. Another thing is, don't try to repair the situation, because it's not repairable. It's a loss, and we have to take that loss in. We don't provide them with our explanations for what we would do if we were mourning, which in any case we don't really know much about, because until you're there you don't know what it is. And the other thing is, mourning processes last for at least a year intensively, but they can go on for life. They're absolutely different in everybody. So just remember to love, to be available, to understand that the other person is doing what they can, and not to get impatient, even if sometimes you would really wring their neck because they're getting really, really difficult, which is normal, because this is a very difficult challenge for any human being. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. See you next week. If you subscribe, remember you'll get our videos every Friday for free, and don't forget to ask your questions. Thanks a lot.